following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello, and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Adrian. I want to know, what was your costume last night when you were trick-or-treating? Because that's why you weren't on the show, right? You were going from house to house getting candy.
I missed the show last night because I had to take my son and about like 6 of his friends trick-or-treating. So, group of kids, some other parents joined in. We had a big group. We walked around the neighborhood, got a ton of candy. I did not dress up, but my wife bought me this like shark that goes on your head. So it looks like a shark is eating your head. And the kids loved it because I don't know why. Kids love two things: dinosaurs and sharks, which is the strangest things, right? Like two monsters, and they love them. It's so crazy, man. What
That
about
is
you?
fascinating. No, I was doing a show with Chef, as you know. If you had a chance to listen to it at some point, I think he has the best voice in all of football. I don't know if he's got a fantastic voice. Yeah. I mean,
What?
Dan's very professional, but Chef has this, he just has this
Can
nice
I
baritone voice. And he
can I
obviously is a fantasy expert. So it was great to have him on. Go ahead. What's your question?
tell you? I don't know if you've read Chef's stuff yet. He is one of the best writers at Hoopball, not only for the information, but because he is hilarious. I love Chef Ali, man, and so I'm gonna go back and listen to that show. I missed it. I'm gonna go back because I can't wait to hear him, and I think we're gonna probably have him on the show more often. He is huge. Love him.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed it a lot. So did I. So it's great to have him on, and I'm glad you're back. Do you hide the candy from your kids once you get it back, or do you let them eat it all?
So we put it in a cabinet and we bring it out slowly after dinner, a little dessert every once in a while on the weekend. So it's not like free for all where they can just eat it anytime because it's just too nuts, man. They just get hyper, they go crazy. So we got to give it to them in small doses. And Neil, I got a crazy sweet tooth myself, so I'm gonna probably take down like half of their candy on my own.
Yeah, that's
You know,
that would be
that,
the yeah that I would probably do that. I would probably just be like, you can only have one candy, the rest is for me. Because
Neil,
A, I'm selfish, and B, I love chocolate. But we should
can I
probably go ahead.
real quick,
Yeah.
one of the joys of parenthood is eating your kids trick or treat candy, eating their leftover like dessert or like I'll give them like we'll be somewhere and I'll get them a churro and I'll think you're only going to eat like half of that and I'm going to take down the rest of that churro. So the joys of fatherhood, Neil. Awesome, man.
Well, one of the joys is fantasy NBA fantasy basketball, right? So we should probably move into the basketball aspect of the show.
We should.
There's some news we should probably get to before we get to the box scores. What is there something you want to talk about first? I think there's a few different things that are pretty important.
What should we talk about?
Well, first of all, Anthony Davis not playing today. That was a little unexpected. Did not feel good enough to give it a go. That's not really very specific on, does this play out for another game or not another game, or perhaps lingers. This has me a little nervous because of the lack of specificity in the news.
Neil, I got some info here.
All
So
right.
he was warming up with the intention to play. That's how close he was. He's suited up, was warming up pregame, still feels pain in his elbow. I was watching the TNT broadcast pregame right before the game. He says on a pain of 1 to 10, he's feeling pain at about 6. Anytime he has to fully extend his elbow, he's feeling pain. So he's just precautionary. He's sitting this out. But Neil, he was this close to playing. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be a long-term thing. I think at worst, maybe he misses 1 to 2 more games. In fact, if I was an Anthony Davis owner, I would rather him sit 2 more games, get completely over this, than try to play in this game and make it worse and him miss more time. So that's my take on Anthony Davis right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. It's probably not a big deal. It's just anytime he gets hurt and then it's a little longer than we expect, I get nervous as someone who has Anthony Davis in 2/3 of my leagues. So, okay, you made that pretty clear. The other news I want to get to is your guy, one of your guys, Donovan Mitchell, hurt his hamstring at the end of the last game, is going to be sitting tomorrow night. Although results came back negative on his MRI. So we'll see if this goes any further. Do you think Dante Exum is a stream or Grayson Allen? That's what the sort of conventional wisdom is. I don't know if I would stream either of those guys. Maybe Exum and DFS, depending on his price.
I love your take on streaming Dante Exum. He's someone who's already providing some sneaky, deep league value, and I feel like the only thing really holding him back is getting minutes and usage. So if he can fill in for Donovan Mitchell here, I think Dante now probably in standard or shallow 10-team leagues, just ignore it. But definitely like 12 to 14 deeper leagues, I think Dante Exum could be worth a pickup. But I'm not expecting Donovan Mitchell to miss too much time. Hamstrings are kind of tricky, though. I imagine they're going to play it really safe with Donovan Mitchell. So maybe he misses like 2 to 3 games. And a little disappointed just because he's gotten off to somewhat of a shaky start. Neil, in 9-cat leagues, only providing like 5th round value right now. So was really hoping he can start gaining some momentum and start improving. So this is going to kind of put him back a little bit. So as someone who owns Mitchell in a few leagues, and you know how high I am and what a giant fan I am of Donovan Mitchell, this is a little disappointing.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, injuries, this is part of the game. These are things you can never predict, and they happen throughout the season. Hopefully it's just a game or two, and then he's back to what we expect in terms of his athleticism. The other news is that DeMarcus Cousins playing 5-on-5, has been cleared to play 5-on-5 in practice. I didn't think he was going to come back before January. This maybe puts the timetable a little sooner. Do you have any before the broadcast you're talking about maybe he comes back sometime after I mean, what are your thoughts? I don't want to just put words in your mouth.
I had noted before we started recording that great news that he's already doing 5-on-5. You know, usually when they start doing 5-on-5, that means that's like the last hurdle. That's like the last step before they come back. So we've been hearing all along, all throughout the summer, all throughout the preseason, that DeMarcus Cousins was ahead of schedule, and it sounds like that's right on. So, you know, I can see him maybe being back in like 5 or 6 weeks, which, Neil, during the summer in the preseason, when we were doing our mock drafts and stuff, I was thinking in my head we wouldn't see DeMarcus Cousins till like maybe just before the All-Star break, which is like that halfway point, a little bit past that halfway point. It sounds like he might be back much sooner than that. So interesting.
Yeah. And then I think, is there any more news that you want to touch on?
I don't have much news.
Oh, Jaylen Brown was a late scratch, although he's not really a fantasy. Well, I don't think it's a big deal that Brown's out for one night. He just had a sore right foot.
Yeah, go ahead. Did you guys touch on the whole Jimmy Butler thing yesterday?
No, we didn't get into what might happen in the future. It looks like he's playing back. He's going to go play the next game in Golden State.
Okay, because there were some reports when he rested yesterday that he was going to kind of pull a Le'Veon Bell. I'm not if you're familiar with football, but Le'Veon Bell is sitting out because he basically missing the whole season because he wanted a new contract. But so there were some reports when it was first announced that Jimmy Butler was going to miss the game for rest, that he could miss more games, kind of hold himself out, demanding, because he wants to get traded out of there. So I thought that was kind of crazy news. But now, as you said, we're hearing that he's likely going to be back for the next game, which is Golden State. So if that's the case, then we could probably ignore that whole him missing an extended period of time. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, it's so hard to know what's going to happen there. Like, I thought he was going to be traded before the season started. Then I thought maybe they're going to hold on to him and, maybe up until the trade deadline until they get the best deal. Now it looks like he could go sooner than later. I have no idea. But you're right. I think if you own Jimmy Butler, you just start him when he's playing, and if you own Karl-Anthony Towns, you hope he doesn't play many more games in Minnesota.
Hey, and if he's gonna miss game, Derrick Rose.
We did talk about that.
Supernova yesterday. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Great description. And then Dwight Howard's coming back.
Yes, if things could not get any worse in Washington, it maybe just has.
This is a recipe for things just blowing up there. Man. Well, we're going to see how that whole saga plays out in Washington. Harden's still doubtful for tomorrow, and so is Booker. He's kind of questionable for tomorrow, so we'll see.
All right, let's get into the games, Neil. We got what do we got? 6-game slate for tonight. It's been a busy week, Neil. I feel like every night has been jam-packed with a good number of games, and let's dive right in here. First game I got up. Do you got the Nuggets and the Cavs? Do you want to go first? Who went first last time?
No, take us away.
Okay, I'll jump in here first. I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Neil, and I'm gonna start with Rodney Hood, who has been pretty good this week. Didn't have the greatest game tonight. Shot really poor tonight, 1 of 9. Was perfect 6 from the line for 8 points, 2 steals, 1 block, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. But Neil played 28 minutes. I really like his outlook. If he's probably owned in the vast majority of leagues, but if somehow he's still floating out there, I would go grab him. Cedi Osman has kind of turned it around this week. It's been kind of an up and down roller coaster for him, starting the season hot, then kind of falling back down a little. We saw him kind of come back up again this week. An okay game from him tonight with 13 points, a block, 3 rebounds, 2 threes, only shot 5 of 13, but played 30 minutes, and the 13 shots showing that he's got some pretty good usage on this team. The second most shots on this team tonight. Decker, who's been filling in for Kevin Love, I think for really deep leagues might be worth the stream. Played 35 minutes, took 10 shots, so that's a really good sign. He only made 3 of them, so 6 points, 3 steals, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Might be worth a look, a flyer in deep leagues. Tristan Thompson, a guy that I'm actually streaming in a few 14-team leagues, 10 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds, didn't have a block or a steal, but shot a 4-6 from the field, 2-2 from the line. It's a decent game from him. George Hill, in 24 minutes, put up 10 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 threes, shot 4 of 7. So it's an okay game there. Neil, a guy that you and I picked up in a few leagues, Colin Sexton, 12 points tonight, a steal, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 5 of 11. I love the fact that he took 11 shots in this game, made a 3. That's nice. 1 of 1 from the line. Let's hope he can kind of build on this and kind of get a boost going into the rest of the season here. Jordan Clarkson, man, a guy who's been providing some pretty late round value in just limited minutes. 17 points tonight, 4 rebounds, had a block, 3 of 3 from the line, 7 of 14 from the field. A pretty decent game from him. Larry Nance, a guy that I think needs to be owned everywhere. Hasn't had that big breakout game yet. Still getting limited minutes. Only played 19 minutes tonight. But I think there's going to be a point where he becomes the starter and he kind of takes over. And when he does, I think he can provide some pretty good value. Only 8 points tonight with 3 steals, a block, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 3 of 8. Not too much else here, Neil. Kevin Love is out. J.R. Smith is not in the rotation. Any thoughts here, Neil?
Yeah. I mean, the two big storylines are, well, if you like Sam Decker, I don't know if he's worth owning, but he is getting the minutes. I think they're going to want to keep running him out there and playing him significant minutes. So it's unfortunate he's not really producing anything worth owning in 12-team or 10-team leagues. But I guess in deeper leagues, like you said, is worth an ad and just to see where it goes. And then Larry Nance Jr., really surprised he's only getting 19 minutes tonight. I thought with the new regime change there, he might be due for an uptick. But 19, 16, he had minutes in the 20s before the changes in the coaching staff. So I was under the assumption he would kind of really benefit from Love's injury, but does not seem to be the case in terms of usage, minutes and time out there. So I am a little pessimistic. I'm still holding him in a league I owned, but we'll see how it goes. I may, if it doesn't change in the next couple of weeks, I may drop him, but just to wait and see for now. Any other thoughts? I'll go over to Denver side.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Nuggets.
Yeah, Nuggets, another one on the road. Jokic, a very quiet night, just played 22 minutes in this lopsided win. 2 of 5 shooting, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, steal and a block, and 2 turnovers. Millsap had another solid game in just 21 minutes, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 3-pointer, a steal, no turnovers. Jamal Murray and Gary Harris, quiet nights. 10 points for Murray with 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 turnover, no defensive stats. Gary Harris, 14, 3 and 3, made all his free throws, 5 of 5, 1 3-pointer, a steal, and 2 blocks. A lot of bench players got significant minutes because of the nature of this game. Hernan Gomez played 29 minutes, 23 points, 4 rebounds, just the blowout win, a steal and a block. Nothing, I think, to really take away from that, though. Same with Trey Lyles, 12 and 8, 1 and 2, and then Malik Beasley and Monte Morris also played in the 20 minutes, but put up sort of modest stat lines. The only thing I'm taking away from this is that Cleveland is still not good. Denver has their 4 big guys, and there's no one who's really singularly replacing Barton's value. So not much to take away here. Just one of those games where a team gets ahead early and kind of rests in the fourth quarter, their starters.
Yeah, not too much there on my side as well. I think you pretty much covered everything. And real curious to see what happens when Isaiah Thomas gets back into this lineup. As you mentioned, due to the game script, it looks like a blowout. We saw some low minutes from the starters, Jokic only getting 22, Millsap only getting 21. We saw these guys in the last game getting big minutes. So we shouldn't read too much into this here. All right, should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's go. Where do you want to go next?
You want to go Clippers and the Sixers?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to jump in on the Clippers side, Neil, and I'm going to start with Danilo Gallinari. Neil, at the beginning of the year, you and I both thought that Gallinari could be a real sneaky draft pick due to, he was kind of slipping far in drafts because, the injury history. But we knew if he was going to stay healthy, he was going to do stuff like this, man. 25 points tonight, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Didn't shoot super great, was only 5 of 14 from the field, but did make 4 of 8 3-pointers and was a perfect 11-11 from the line. So really helped you guys in your free throw category. Tobias Harris is just having a really stellar season. 24 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, a block, shot a nice 10 of 16, 2 of 3 from 3-point range, a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. You can't ask much more from Tobias Harris than a line like this. Beautiful. Kind of interesting stuff here, Neil, in the front court. It looks like Gortat only got 9 minutes. You guys should have already moved on past Gortat if you haven't already. And we're all expecting Montrezl Harrell to be the guy. Was in foul trouble tonight. He had 5 fouls, so he only played 15 minutes, put up a bad line of 7 points with a block, a steal, but I wouldn't worry there. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander only getting 18 minutes here with 7 points, two assists, 2 rebounds. I'm hanging on to him as a stash for later in the season. I guess this was Boban's time, right? Boban, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, a steal in just 23 minutes. Neil, if this guy ever got starter minutes, he would be amazing. But for now, I think he's really only just a deep league guy because tomorrow night he could get 10 minutes and put up barely anything. So not much here. Looks like Pat Beverly fouled out of this one. Only had 4 points, two steals, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds is nice, but kind of a disappointing game here. Avery Bradley not doing much. 2 points in 36 minutes. Geez. I hope he should probably be floating on your wire in the league and he should stay there. Neil, any thoughts on the Clippers?
Yeah, like you said with Boban, it's just so hard to. I mean, this was Montreal has a really difficult matchup against Embiid, and just I guess probably just try to foul him. I'm guessing that's where he got his fouls on, and cannot put up a fight in that matchup. So Boban did and got out there and played 23 minutes, and he's going to be like a specialist. You don't know when he's going to get minutes and when he's not, so it's going to be really hard to predict. Maybe in a rotisserie league if it's very deep, maybe like an 18, 20 team rotisserie league, maybe he's worth it. But other than that, I don't think he's worth being picked up. And yeah, like you said, Gortat is just unfortunately no longer a fantasy asset. So on the Philly side, anything else before I go to the Philly side?
Just real quick, want to say I believe Boban did leave this game briefly. I'm not even quite sure what the injury was, but he was available to return. It happened sometime in the third quarter, and it didn't seem to affect him at all. Still had a great game and played 23 minutes, but just something to note there. Let's move on to the next team, Neil.
All right, so Philadelphia, the big night from Embiid. 41 points, 13 rebounds, 16 of 32 shots, 6 of 9 from the line, 3 3-pointers, 4 blocks. Markelle Fultz played 21 minutes, just 12 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Solid line for just 21 minutes and a steal. Ben Simmons, very kind of quiet for him, 14 points, just 3 rebounds, 11 assists though. Did go perfect from the line, 2 of 2 with a steal, 2 turnovers. J.J. Redick off the bench, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 3-pointers. And then Covington, the other big name on this team, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, made 4 of his 5 shots, 2 3-pointers, and then the defensive stats have been amazing. This guy is 4 steals, 3 blocks. We knew the potential was still there. We were a little worried about him, but so far he's delivering that high third round value. And it's not going anywhere. It's staying strong. And then Saric is the one who's really just been fading this year. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, just made 1 shot, had no defensive stats. So he's just been he's almost not even worth owning. I have to look at his ranking, but this is a very disappointing line from him. And he's had, in the last few games, some pretty mediocre lines. I guess worth owning in 12-team leagues, but 10-team leagues, I guess, right on the cusp. Not much to take away from this. Muscala did get 24 minutes. Shamet got 23 minutes. I guess Fultz, he's still out there in most of my leagues. I'm not picking him up anytime soon. I like to see him get more consistent minutes and see the percentages come up a little bit. Adrian, anything you're taking away from this line?
I like your take on Fultz. I'm still clinging on to him in some 14-team leagues where I don't really have a choice. There's not too much on the wire. Really loved this game from him tonight. A beautiful line, was very aggressive and active in this game. But I agree with you, Neil. If he's only going to be seeing minutes in this 20 range, the majority of nights when it's not on, he's going to be giving you some really bad lines. So until we see his minutes come up to like the higher 20s, I don't think we'll be able to pick him up in standard leagues. But still a pretty nice sign that he looked really good in this game, was very aggressive. I want to touch on Covington super quick. As you mentioned, Neil, a guy I was really down on coming into the season. I was worried about him, and I was wrong. He looks pretty good. Neil, right now in 9 category leagues, he's currently putting up second round value on the player rater right now. So is just killing it right now. Let's hope he can keep this up. All right, Neil, let's move on to the next one. Next game I got up is the Sacramento Kings and the Atlanta Hawks. Shall we go there?
Yeah, the Kings. The Kings are looking like the Kings of the NBA. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Kings are looking good. I'll tell you what, I'm going to jump on the Atlanta Hawks, though. We should probably tell the score. Kings with a giant win, as you mentioned, 146-115. It's not very often you see the Kings blow out another team, but the Hawks are really bad. Speaking of the Hawks, let's jump in here. Taurean Prince, really disappointing game from him. Only shot 3 of 12, 7 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 3 of 12 from the field, 1 of 7. He's in a really bad shooting slump right now. I believe in the last 3 games, he's only shooting like 14% from the field. Might be a nice time to buy low on him right now because I do still like his rest of the season outlook. And I do actually think when they get John Collins back in the lineup, it could kind of help them out. It could kind of like open things up for him. Who else? Trae Young, 14 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 13. Didn't have a 3, which is a little disappointing, but you'll be pretty happy with his line tonight. Kent Bazemore, 14 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 of 12 from the line. He added 2 threes. Pretty nice game from Bazemore. And Neil, we're seeing some life from Jeremy Lin tonight with 23 points, a block, a steal, an assist, a rebound in just 23 minutes. Shot a really nice 8 of 13, added 2 threes, shot a really great 5 of 7 from the line. I think we got to keep an eye on Jeremy Lin. Only got 23 minutes, is still kind of working his way back. Didn't have an off season due to injury, so he's still working his way in. If we can see his minutes come up, I think Lin is definitely worth a grab. Let's see who else. Alex Len got the start, had 11.6 rebounds, 1 assist, only played 22 minutes. I don't trust him, Neil. Bembry, a guy that I'm watching in 14-team league. Bembry tonight with 13 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, shot a nice 5 of 8. He kind of does this a little bit, Neil, where he teases us with lines like this, and then in the next game, he might not have anything. Neil, any thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks here?
Yeah, like you said, I'm still a buyer in Taurean Prince. I mean, the 7 rebounds and 6 assists are still great lines for those categories from a wing, and he's just been in a slump. Took 12 shots, only made 1 of 7 from 3. Did have 2 steals. If you can get him for a late round, someone that's more like a 8th, 9th rounder, yeah, definitely try to scoop him up. Jeremy Lin, he did have a good night tonight. Unfortunately, I was kind of monitoring this game. It was against a lot of guys on the Kings who normally don't play, so I take this with a little grain of salt. I am a Jeremy Lin guy, though, so I thought he was going to be more of a 6th man on this team and had a chance to be start worthy in rosterable in 12-team leagues, and not there yet, but certainly keep an eye on him. Along with DeAndre Bembry. Not sure it's going to work out for him this year, but he is starting to see mid-20 minutes and putting up decent lines. So his percentages aren't great, but I'm going to still watch him for the next few games and put him on my watch list. So,
hey, real quick,
yeah.
I want to add, sorry to interrupt you. I don't know if you saw thoughts, but just want to add before you move on to the next team, it was reported that John Collins is no longer feeling pain in his left ankle. My fingers are crossed. We will see him back in the lineup soon. Neil, I've got him on my IR spot in a couple leagues. I need him. So, John Collins, please come back. I'm expecting some big things from John Collins this year. All right, Neil, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's go to the Sacramento side. The 146 points. A lot of them by De'Aaron Fox. You did have some shares in Fox, tell me, because I know you were big on him in the preseason. 31 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, 10-11 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers, a steal, and just 3 turnovers. He is looking like the franchise player they want him to be. Buddy Hield, another solid line tonight. He is just a monster. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 of 3 from the line, 5 3-pointers, 2 steals and a block. This guy is going to finish easily inside the top 50. Willie Cauley-Stein didn't play a lot of minutes in this blowout. Only played 25 minutes, just 12 points, 6 assists. 6 rebounds, no assists, and 3 steals though, no blocks. Nemanja Bjelica still in 24 minutes. He is one of the waiver wire pickups of the year so far. 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 7-11 shooting. This guy is shooting over 50% from 3 and I think around 60% from 2. It's just amazing. I didn't think it was sustainable. Maybe it's not, but so far, another night he's doing it. 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 3-pointers, 2 steals. Shumpert got the start as well. Played 24 minutes. I don't think he's worth rostering. Just had 8, 4, and 3. Off the bench, Bagley had another solid game. 24 minutes, 18 points, 5 rebounds. He's scooped up in most of the leagues I've seen. I would certainly look to do that if he's available in your league. A very good percentage guy. 2, 7 of 10 from the field, 4 4 from the line. Had a steal, and then not much else from the rest of the bench. He got a lot of minutes, but no one else really produced. I think those are the main guys to talk about. I think if you're Healed, I would not sell high on him. I would keep him. I think he's going to hold up this year. It's hard to get a shooting guard that can shoot that well and put up a lot of threes and is very efficient. Along with, I would sell high on Bjelica. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think you can really sell high on him, though. I think when you pick someone off the waiver wire, people value him as a 10th rounder still, I think.
I don't know, Neil. I think maybe you can sell high on him. Let me tell you, Neil, he's been doing it all season. Yes, we're still kind of in that early phase of the season. We're only 8 games in, but Neil, it's been every night. Neil, Nemanja Bjelica has a 71.2% true shooting percentage on 18.4 usage rate. He's one of the most efficient perimeter players in the league right now. Neil, I think if you went to the player right now, he's the player rater right now. He's putting up 2nd round value. If you can flip him right now for a bona fide guy, I think you got to do it. And I think right now, just because we literally, has he had a bad game yet? I don't know.
He had one because I picked him up and then he had a bad game and I dropped him.
That's right. I think it was no, you know what? I got a story just like that. I had a guy in my home league who was asking me, should I drop Pat Beverly to pick up Bjelica? It was like that 2nd game of the season where Bjelica had a down game, and then actually Pat Beverly had a good game. And I told him, let's wait a minute, because Bjelica didn't play well tonight. And man, he must hate me for giving him that advice, because shortly after that he was picked up and it was too late. Neil, real quick, I got to touch on De'Aaron Fox, because as you said, I got a few shares of him and I am ecstatic, man. I am so happy to see him making that jump. Neil, I got a funny story. I'm trying to get Luka Doncic in my home league because I just am enamored with him. So the Luka Doncic owner offered me De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis for Luka Doncic. And I told him, I'm not even sure right now that I would trade Fox straight up for Doncic. That's how good Doncic has been. And Neil, I don't think this is a fluke, man. He's not going to have nights like this. He went crazy tonight. So I'm not expecting him to do what he did tonight every night, but he's been really good to start the season, and I don't think this is a fluke. But what do you think of that trade, Neil?
Yeah, I don't know if I would do it either. I think
okay,
Fox,
good.
Yeah, Fox, and who was the other guy on your team? He wanted
Sabonis.
No,
and Fox
Sabonis is going to be a mid to late round guy, and Fox is going to be mid to high, and Doncic is more mid. So I don't even know straight up who I'd rather have between Fox and
Exactly,
Yeah, I
right?
don't even know. I
was
think that would be a
trying.
tough call right there. Those two guys.
I
Yeah.
was trying to tell him there's no way I can do this deal because even straight up Fox for Doncic, I don't think I can do it right now.
Yeah. I don't.
So, okay, Neil, let's move. Oh, super quick.
Yep.
Marvin Bagley, 18 points, 5 rebounds in 24 minutes. Man, I really want to see him get starter minutes. Neil, I think he can be pretty good if he can just get starter minutes, but right now he's just got that reserve role. So keep an eye on him because I think if there's some point, Neil, the Kings they're 6-3. Are they going to start thinking about the playoffs, or am I over exaggerating here?
They played very well. Even their opener against Utah, they held their own, and they have looked very good. At least per expectations, I guess. The expectations were so low. They look like a legit NBA team, is what I should say. And so they're fun to watch. They're actually a good basketball team.
So the reason why I brought up the record is if they keep going like this and all of a sudden now they're thinking they can make the playoffs, we might not see Bagley get unleashed. He may stay in this role. So if that happens, Bagley in standard leagues might not be a thing. Okay, Neil, any last thoughts here or shall we move on?
Ready to move on.
All right. Next game up I got is the Bucks and the Celtics. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, I was really excited for this one because two top teams in the Eastern Conference, two teams with the best record. Actually, I shouldn't say that because the Raptors are up there as well. But these are two teams that we expect to be up at the top at the end of the year in the Eastern Conference. Was really looking forward to this, and it did not disappoint, Neil. This was a heavyweight fight between two powerhouses, and it was a close game. The Celtics edging out the Bucks here, 117-113. I'm going to jump on the Celtics side, Neil. Let you take the Bucks. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, no Jaylen Brown. I believe he's dealing with plantar fascia. How do you say that, Neil?
I think it's plantar fasciitis, but I could be totally
fasciitis.
wrong.
I don't know how to say it, but I do know. I used to play soccer, Neil. I've experienced some plantar fasciitis or fascia. It's very painful, and so I think we might see Jaylen Brown miss a little bit of time here. Like I'm talking about maybe like a week, maybe even a little longer. But let's see. All right, I'm going to jump in the box score. Kyrie Irving got off to a rough start, but is really turning it around here. 28 points, 2 blocks from Kyrie Irving. That's magnificent. 1 steal, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 6 3-pointers tonight, 10 out of 20 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. Thank you guys in my home league for backing that trade out because Brook Lopez for Kyrie Irving was ridiculous. All right, Al Horford, really nice game from Al Horford. Loving this. 18 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, a block, 6 of 15 from the field, 4 3-pointers from your center. He took 11 threes tonight from your center. That's unreal. Perfect 2 of 2 from the line. Nice game from him. Jason Tatum, 12 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 threes. A nice game from Tatum. Gordon Hayward, love to see this. Gordon Hayward may be the biggest beneficiary if Jaylen Brown misses any time. With 18 points here, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, a block. 6 of 11 from the field, 3 threes. They were bombing away from downtown, Neil. 6 threes from Kyrie, 4 from Horford, 2 from Tatum, 3 from Hayward. It looks like Ojale got the start here, had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. He added 2 threes himself. What a great game from the Celtics starters. Not too much else here. Marcus Morris, 17 points off of the bench with 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal. Not much from Terry Rozier and Marcus Smart. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that can put up some. I mean, they have one other player out there, so the stats are kind of diluted. Tonight, though there were 3 really good stat lines between Irving, Horford, and Hayward. Tatum was okay, and so was Marcus Morris. It's hard to take anything away from this. I think if Marcus Morris, right on the fringe, but if you know one of the other players are going to be out, I think he's worth starting. And it's good to see Kyrie get this back so people don't Kyrie owners don't freak out and throw him overboard for 10 cents on the dollar. Anyway, he's such a great player. I mean, he's still one of the best offensive point guards in all of basketball, and tonight he showed it. Took 12 3-pointers, made 6 of them, had a steal and 2 blocks. Yeah, what a great game. And what a great matchup, like you said. The East, I know we like to make fun of it, but at the top, there are 4 really good teams. And Indiana's pretty good as well, 5th, and we'll see who else can make it in. All right, on the or anything else, or can I go to the Milwaukee side?
Real quick, Celtics together as a team made 24 threes tonight. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry could do that by themselves.
Yeah. I think Steph could do that by himself.
Right, Klay? Hey, Klay had 14 the other night.
I know. But if all Steph did was shoot threes, I think he would make 24. Giannis, of course, led the night with 33 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 7-11 from the line. He isn't a great free throw shooter, not a bad one, but not a great one either. 3 steals, 4 turnovers. Middleton, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 3-pointers. He's averaging upwards around 4 a game, so below average, but still incredibly high number. 2 points from Lopez. 5 assists. 5 rebounds, no assists. Did get 2 blocks and a steal. Brogdon, solid night, 16 and 6 with 2 assists and a block. 2 3-pointers, 2 from the line. Bledsoe, serviceable night, 13 points, 7 assists, a rebound, 6 and 9 from the line, a 3-pointer, a steal. And then Ilyasova got 26 minutes off the bench. DiVincenzo playing a solid role on this team in rotation, 24 minutes, 8, 5, and 2. Looks like Snell and Henson really aren't part of this rotation in terms of adding value. And Matthew Dellavedova, how things have changed. This man doesn't even get on the court anymore. He always kind of brought the heart over the skill. And right now this Milwaukee team has a lot of skill. So he's on the outside looking in. I think DiVincenzo, I'm butchering his name, is still a decent ad for deeper leagues. Ilyasova maybe as well, but I'd rather have Dante. And then Lopez. Yeah, Lopez. What are his numbers? Let's look at this. Sorry, I don't want to. He's at 17% usage. His PER is just 14.3. He's averaging 25 minutes a game. What his points are? 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah, 1.4 blocks. I mean, he clearly helps the team. He's a very good. I mean, he's a very good role player on a basketball team. He can stretch the floor. He can box out. So he provides space and he provides help on rebounds from a box out perspective. But he's not a fantasy person. So anyway, any thoughts on Milwaukee?
Just Giannis is just putting up an amazing season. So I think the Bucks are going to finish up towards the top of the Eastern Conference, and I think Giannis is going to be in the MVP conversation. Chris Middleton as well, man, having a career year. Pretty disappointed that I don't have any shares of Chris Middleton, and I really like this team. I think they're pretty deep all around with Bledsoe and Brogdon. And, even though you and I were not real high on Brook Lopez, still a pretty decent center to have next to those studs that they have on their team. And then a pretty nice bench with Ilyasova, DiVincenzo, as you mentioned, Tony Snell, Henson. I think this team's going to make some noise, man. They're going to go pretty far in the playoffs. All right, Neil, that's all I got. I think we got one game left, but it's at halftime.
No, so, we have, there's one more game we didn't talk about.
Oh, what is it, the Thunder and the Hornets?
Thunder, Charlotte, yeah.
All right. Jeez, all right. Man, I am slipping. It's a good
night off, it's all that candy.
It is a good thing I don't do these shows by myself, Neil, because I would, be doing games twice. Like I would, like the other night, I wanted to do the same game over that we already went on. And then B, I would be missing games. So thank God that you're here, Neil. Okay. Looks like the Thunder got the win here, 111 to 107. And I, again, am going to save the big numbers for you, Neil. I'm going to jump into the Charlotte Hornets. And I'm going to start with Kemba Walker, 21 points, 1 steal, 6 assists. Kind of a down game, which is crazy to say, but he's come out of the gate so hot that this feels like a letdown game from him. 7 to 16 from the field, 2 threes tonight, 5 of 5 from the line. We'll take that. Nicholas Batum, a little low-end scoring here with 10 points, but filling it up all over with 2 steals, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 threes tonight. So you got to be pretty happy with this line from Nicholas Batum. It looks like, Neil, every night I feel like we look at the Jeremy Lamb, Malik Monk comparison. It was Lamb getting the minutes with 25 compared to Monk's 23. And both guys actually had a nice game tonight. Lamb had 13 points, a steal, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, 1 3. It's pretty good. Malik Monk in 23 minutes had 21 points, 2 assists. Pretty nice line from him. And let's see, what else went down? Marvin Williams with 4 points has been pretty disappointing. Cody Zeller, a guy I played tonight in a few leagues, kind of disappointing, but did have 4 assists and 8 rebounds, a block, but the 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting, played 27 minutes and only took 4 shots. Usage is just not there for Cody Zeller. One last thing, Neil, and then I want to get your thoughts. I watched a lot of this game, and I am very impressed with Miles Bridges. The score line doesn't really show it, but he passes the eye test with flying colors. Neil, the first quarter, I watched 3 minutes of him, and he is so active. He's so bouncy. I am shocked about his complete game. Is a good passer, good rebounder, was playing good defense. He can shoot. He had 2 dunks in that 3-minute span that I was watching. I am stashing Miles Bridges in some 14-team leagues, hoping that maybe later in the year he's going to get unleashed. And in dynasty leagues, I missed out on this guy. I love Miles Bridges in the future. What are your thoughts on this team, though, Neil?
Yeah, I think the one takeaway or a couple takeaways are on the wing side. So Batum looks like he's stabilized as an important role on the wing. Got 36 minutes tonight, and has been getting the mid to high 30s every night since the first game. So I think he's the integral part. The other wings seem very interchangeable between Lamb, Monk, Bridges, and even like Tony Parker is playing 23 minutes. So he's getting some overlap with Kemba Walker out there. So it's hard to count on those 4 guys. They're all sort of putting up similar lines in terms of usage, in terms of stats across the board. I think you can trust Batum. I think you can trust, obviously, Kemba, and then maybe Zeller for low-end, very, very low-end center minutes. But Marvin Williams has been very erratic, and then also, unless he got injured tonight, I don't know if you saw something on that, but he has been playing some. Look at his game log. One 18
guy.
18 minutes. Go ahead.
One guy that I want to ask you about, Neil, that I forgot to mention. What are your thoughts on MKG, Kid Gilchrist, getting 25 minutes tonight? He only had 9 points, but Neil, he took 10 shots, only made 3 of them. If the shot was falling, his line would stand out a lot more. Did also have 9 rebounds. We know he's usually pretty good in the steal category as well. What are your thoughts on MKG? Do you think, I feel like he needs to be picked up in deeper leagues, especially 14-team leagues, maybe even in 12-team leagues if you've got some dead weight on the end of your roster. What do you think, Neil?
Yeah, I would say 14 would be my cutoff. I think 12 might be a little I don't know if I'd roster him in a 12-team league. I do like the way he's playing, though. I've seen a couple games, and he looks good out there. brings a lot of energy, and he does have a lot of athleticism, and he seems to be much more aggressive when he's playing. So I do like what he's doing on the court. It's just he's a little bit limited by all the other talented players around him, and then not get enough minutes for 12-team leagues. So yeah, the wing situation though is still, I guess you can kind of throw him in there a little bit, but still kind of hard to figure out between Monk and Lamb and Bridges. Like you said, Bridges was like probably maybe the most talented of the three, but as a rookie may get the fewest minutes. So see how that plays out. And then Hernan Gomez clearly is not taking over anytime soon for Zeller. We thought that might happen sooner than later. Keep an eye on him. If it does happen, he would be worth owning. But right now, he's just someone to watch.
This team, Neil, is so crowded on the wing. My fingers are crossed that they make some moves to clear up the wing, because between Lamb, Monk, Bridges, MKG, Batum, it's like they are just packed in that wing spot. So fingers crossed that they do something that opens up some time for Bridges. All right, man. That's all I got on the Hornets.
All right, let's go over to I was looking at a trade I got.
What is it? What is it? Tell us.
It's in the league that we're in. Should I bring it up?
Yeah.
All right.
What is it? Come on.
All right, we'll let you decide if it's fair. I'll be getting Chris Paul, John Henson, and Roddy Magruder I'll be giving up Eric Bledsoe, Bradley Beal, and JJJ.
No, wait. First off, I want to know how deep is this league? Is this a 14-team league?
That's the one we're in together.
Oh, okay. It's 14-team league.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't do it, man. Number one, you know me, I'm still worried about Roddy Magruder when all those other Heat players come back. Who is that? John Henson? I don't even think I would own him in this league. I don't even know. No. And then, yeah, man, no. I say no to that deal if I was you.
I would say no if it was just Bledsoe and Beal. Yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, let's go on. Just rejecting that. Yes. All right. This guy's very persistent, though. I'll give him that. All right. Let's go on to the other side of the ledger. Oklahoma City, big night from Russell Westbrook. 29 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists. Shot well, 12 of 24, 5 for 7 on the line, 3 steals. Paul George, quiet night from him from a points perspective. Only went 4 from 20. This is one thing I worried about him is his off nights of shooting can really hurt you. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. 0 for 10 from the 3-point line, 4 steals and 3 blocks. So great defensive player as well as an offensive player when he's on. Steven Adams, 5 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Great defensive stats there. Not much in points and assists. Did go 3 for 4 from the line, so did not kill you there. Terrence Ferguson, not really worth owning. Jeremy Grant, I got another counter offer. So Jeremy Grant, 25 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Dennis Schroeder looking good off the bench tonight. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm thinking about dropping him in my 12-team league, my 14-team league, sorry. And let's see, Alex Abrinas had a very good shooting night, 9 of 15 off the bench, 30 minutes, 25 points. Probably a anomaly given the matchup they had with all those athletic wings against Charlotte. I wouldn't think too much about adding him. Or Schroeder, I think, is another beneficiary of the matchup. So nothing really new here. Good to see Westbrook playing hard and strong, getting a win on the road if you're a fan of his. Paul George struggling from the shooting the ball tonight, but otherwise had a good line. And then Jeremy Grant, someone we were kind of watching to see how he would, do. Just got 10 points on 7 shots. So he's still someone who has the potential, but not really getting the numbers or the stat lines you need to really be rosterable in 12-team leagues.
Yeah, I just want to say love the game from Westbrook. Still doesn't have a triple-double this year, which is kind of strange. And then that Paul George line tonight, even though shot atrocious and just destroyed you from the field, love the defensive stats from him tonight with the 3 blocks and the 4 steals. That was beautiful. So, most nights those shots will fall for Paul George. And that's all I got, Neil. And okay, now I believe we only have one game left. I believe this game is still going on. So Neil, you may have to move on without me on this last game.
Yeah, so you want to sign off? Tell the
Yes,
fans how they can find you.
hit me up on Twitter, you guys, at Adrian Benjamins. Is it week 2? Are we in week 2? Week 3.
I think we're in week 3.
Week 3 coming to an end in the books. Week 3 out of 25, Neil. We're starting to roll here. So you guys, you should be looking at your team now, looking where you're at, what your team needs are, maybe thinking about trades. Now's the time where you gotta really take a good look at your team, find out where you need help in, because you got to make moves now while you still have a lot of season left. All right, you guys, thanks so much. I'll see you guys next week.
Hold on, yes, and I will be back for the last game. All right, on to the last game of the evening. Portland 132, New Orleans without Anthony Davis 119. Start here with New Orleans. Mirotic picking up the slack as he has been whenever Davis is out, and actually playing incredibly well with Davis there too. Tonight, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Did take a lot of shots and did not knock all of them down. Just 6 of 18 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, 1 3-pointer, steal and a block, 2 turnovers. Etuan Moore, someone who can get some points, 19 tonight, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and shoot well, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line, 2 3-pointers, a steal. Kind of what you expect. Cannot really help you and will hurt you in rebounds and assists and blocks, but will help you in percentages and in points. Okafor gets a start. Just played 14 minutes to not look that great out there. Only put up 6 points, 5 rebounds, and I should say one block. Also getting the start, Tim Frazier for Elfrid Payton, who's still sidelined. There was some talk that maybe Elfrid might, at least a couple days earlier, he might come back, but not yet. Tonight, Frazier put up 8 points with 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Not really worth owning in any league just yet. Did play 30 minutes, though. Drew Holiday and Julius Randle, the two people who really are the beneficiaries of the Davis absence tonight. Holiday, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists. 6 of 8 from the line, 1 3-pointer, 3 steals. He actually puts up lines like this even with Davis. But Randall, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Got to play 26 minutes, sort of his typical minute allotment. 11 from 12 from the free throw line, something that is really great to see this year from him, and 1 steal. This season, Randall has been shooting 73% from the line, pretty solid, at 54% from the field. And on 28% usage. So when he's in there, he's worth, he's put up a lot of points, a lot of statistics. Like to see him, if you're his owner, obviously you probably want to see him play more minutes, but doing pretty well if you drafted him late. And that's really it. Ian Clark played 23 minutes, Check Diallo 19, Fred Jackson 11, Solomon Hill, and Kenrich Williams also had a couple minutes in the game. The only thing I'm taking away from this is don't start Okafor next time Davis is out. I don't think he's going to be worth starting as a late minute ad. Neither is Tim Frazier. You can trust Holiday and Mirotic. Both are going to finish pretty strong this year. Holiday, I know, was a second-round pick. Should get close to there. Worst-case third-round value. Mirotic seems to be somewhere in third or fourth round value as of now, and maybe even, on pace for even better than that. But that, I think, is a pretty safe space for him to finish. And then Randall, maybe another tier or 2 down, but I think we'll put up decent numbers throughout the season. And then Anthony Davis, if you own him like I do in many leagues and you love to watch him play basketball, or you just love to watch basketball and you love great players, Anthony Davis, my favorite to watch, and it's just frustrating to see him deal with injuries. Wish him the best, and hopefully he'll be back out there next time. And because of that, they don't win. Without him, they're just not a very good team. They're obviously one of the best teams in the league with him, and without him, they're pretty mediocre. On the Portland side, Damian Lillard, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 of 8 from the line, 4 3-pointers, 1 steal, still hanging in there in the first round value. In fantasy leagues, unlike his backcourt partner, CJ McCollum, who's been struggling so much this year, just 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, only took 8 shots. Also just kind of not great from the line, 4 of 6, missed all his 3-pointers, had a steal, 4 turnovers. Someone, I guess, is just in a slump. Maybe he has an alien injury we're just not too aware about, or something's a little off with him this year so far. I just hold tight. Maybe even buy low on him if you can. Let's see. Nurkic, the other big guy on this team, 28 minutes, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 of 9 shooting, 5 of 6 from the line, 1 3-pointer, a steal, no blocks, just 2 turnovers, which is good for him. His backup, or someone who we're thinking might at some point replace him, probably not anytime soon, but certainly a young player who's developing well, is Zach Collins, 17 minutes, 9 points, a rebound, an assist, took 8 shots, made 3 of them, 2 3-pointers, and a block. Jake Layman and Aminu were the other 2 starters. Aminu had a line tonight that was worth starting. This one is really hard to trust, though. In 33 minutes, had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 of 11 shooting, 3 for 3 from the line, 2 3-pointers, and a block. That's something that, for those of us in the past who have sort of kind of rode Aminu, that's kind of what we'd hope from him, sort of in the teens points and getting high rebounds and a block and a couple threes. Tonight delivered. Layman, someone who's starting but only playing limited minutes. Tonight just 15 minutes, 11 points and 2 rebounds. Did go 4 for 4 from the line, from the field, including 3 from 3-pointers and a block. Evan Turner off the bench had a solid game, actually a very good game, 14.7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. I don't think he's still worth being added in 12-team leagues, maybe 14-team leagues. And same with Stauskas, someone who has had some good shooting nights, some high 3-pointer nights. Tonight, just 2 3-pointers on 4 of 6 shooting, 10 points, no rebounds, 3 assists. He's very hard to trust as well. Seth Curry played 19 minutes, 9, 2, and 2. Another low-end fantasy player. And Swanigan, the second-year man, had 14 minutes, 6.6 rebounds. Someone who maybe at some point will develop into a role player in the NBA, just not there yet. Anyway, looking at this line, I think if you're Lillard, if you have Lillard, I should say, then you're enjoying what he's doing. I would think he's going to continue this all year. McCollum, I do not think will continue this all year. I think he will bounce back at some point and get into mid-round value. I would expect, unless he's dealing with an injury we just don't know about, and it's really bothering him that much. Would not rush out to get Turner or Stauskas or Curry if anyone was inclined to do so. Zach Collins, he's still on my watch list, not someone I've picked up yet. I know he has been added in some leagues after having a couple good nights in a row. He may go back onto the waiver wires as he has a few sort of below average nights in a row. So keep a watch on him. And that will do it for the 1st of November, 2018 here on Box Score Breakdown. Thank you for listening. Please hit me up with any questions, thoughts, comments, criticisms, whatever you want. I am at Ball with Neil, Neil. Is my Twitter handle, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And you can hit up Adrian Benjamins. Again, he is at Adrian Benjamins. And we would love to take your questions as well. We talk about them here on the show. And we are going to be off for the next 2 days. We'll be back on Sunday night talking about Sunday's games and then whatever else happened over the weekend. Take care.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.